everyone. Welcome into Drums by Liz. Welcome into Drums by Liz. Glad that you could join us. Hey, today we're studying a little syncopated idea with a polyrhythmic underlying idea, okay? The groove is syncopated, I should say, okay? The groove is just going to be a broken type of rhythm, one E and a. So now we're going to start with one E and then the is going to be by itself on the bass drum, okay? So bass is on one and the of one. One E and is your hi-hat notes, are your hi-hat notes. One E and a, two E and a. Beat two is snare E and bass, okay? So two E and a, put beat one and two together. One E and a, two E and a, one E and a, two E and a, one E and a, two E and a. And even like these little grooves like this, you could throw it into your eighth note stuff. So why couldn't you be like one and two and three and a 4 and a 1 and, right? So look at it that way too. You know, excerpt some of this stuff that I show. You know, always break it out of its little container, put it into another little form of your playing style. Okay. Utilize everything, you know, try to make these skills be transferable type of thing, okay? Beat three E and a. So we're playing the E of three on our bass drum. Three, and then and a will be up on the hi-hat. So three E and a. Beat four is just like beat two. Two E and a. Okay, so we've got three E and a, 4 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 3 E. It gives us this really nice kind of staggered feel when we're playing it, right? We've got the prior to it, then we catch that E. So listen for that as I play that again. Now the whole shebang here, okay? So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a. That's the beauty, I find, that, right? So it works. 3 E and a, 4 E and a, right? Again, kind of excerpting. Now what I was playing on the toms there, it's a 6 pattern that we put in twice in the measure, so that's going to be 12 notes. However, it starts on the and of 1 and it ends on the and of 4. So then what do we have? 12 plus we need 4 more notes to make 16 in the measure. So we have 2 off the beginning, 2 bass notes, and then 2 notes off the end, just continuing the cycle of the 6 notes, okay? So it gets a little bit complex when we're doing that, all right? So I will show you it nice and slow. So it starts with 2 bass notes, 1 E and a, okay? So we're gonna be flamming, kind of, you know, think of it as a flam almost, the snare note and the floor tom note together, okay? 1 E and a. And when I play that, I do play a flam. I don't want those notes necessarily exactly together. It's nice when we can have that flam effect, kind of like, so it's a little ahead, ba-dum, type of thing, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at that now. 1 E and a, now 2 E and a, okay? So that's beat 2 then. It's just right, left, right. high tom, right, left, right bass. So it could be like 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Okay, so we got the first two beats there, okay? 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Where are we now? On beat 3, back to our start point of our 6 notes again, okay? Remember though, they started on the and of 1. So we have 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, we got our 6 notes in with 1 E. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, right, okay? And then we're at beat 3, starting again with the 6 notes. 3 E and a, 4 E, 3 E and a, 4 E, right? So if I started on the and of 1, and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E, right? So try to figure that out. Notice how it starts on the and of 1, ends by the and of 4. You know, the E of 4, we're done with it, right? And then what do I add off the end? Just and a. We're going to come back to that, you know, like we're starting the 6 notes again, okay? So you could be like, oh, like this just continues, okay? And we could think of it as like if we continued it all the way through until we resolved it, it would be like a little metric modulation idea, okay? So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and then we're back into our groove. Is to maybe take it down around the drums, move it around a little bit, maybe embellish beat 4 a little bit, or maybe throw a note or two up to the hi-hat. That kind of can work for us, right? So something like maybe right now I went twice in that measure, I think in the same spot throughout the pattern. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. So we're on the E of 2 and then the of 3. We're going up to that hi-hat. What would happen if I doubled those notes? Right? Ooh, that might work, right? I would probably pick 1 to double. Something like that, right? So again, you know, we have options for ourselves. Okay, now look at, you could take all of that 6 pattern out of context too. Okay, I guess I don't know where to quit with lessons and when I'm filming, okay? Because maybe I could be like, okay, that's enough. Okay, this is the bonus section of the video, okay? So now what would happen if we took some of that out of context? Triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it, up with a nice little sextuplet fill-in. That again was just that start point, starting from the and of 1 and then working it all the way to beat 3. What was it? 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E, right? You know, and then we start all of that process again. 3 E and a, 4 E and a, but within that are those 6 notes in there, okay? And then again, we're not thinking of it as 16th notes, it's now sextuplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? What would happen if I started in a different spot? Okay, maybe start on the double bass notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So again, you know, like look at these things in a different format. You know, how does anyone ever come up with any type of invention? You know, the minute someone comes up with it, be like, why didn't I think of that? You know, they always have a different approach with it, okay? And this has helped me, you know, to try to taper my lessons to individual students. So when students come to me, I've been doing this for 47 years, okay? I've had any and every type of student pretty much. And then I have to be able to be flexible and be able to bend to them and to understand where they're coming from, kind of walk in their shoes and help them with certain processes that I know are tried and true. A lot of foundational things that I do that can carry you through, into any universal approach. The phone can ring. Got a reggae gig tonight. I got a wedding tomorrow night. I got a jazz gig next Friday. So we want to be able to do those types of things. All right, everybody. Much love. Thank you so much for all the shares, the likes, the subs, the comments. Okay, it's been fun to, go around the clock with a couple people and, just having a little fun with the comment section, okay? So also let me know what you'd like me to continue to do. I'm very open and very wanting to know what I can do to please you and to help you along. Okay, that's the name of the game, right? So lots of happy drumming. All right, everybody, take care. See you soon.